There is a moment in every life when you decide to rise, to stand taller than your fear, to speak louder than your doubt, to chase the vision that sets your soul on fire. This is that moment. And here, we walk it together with stories that awaken, voices that inspire, and truths that set you free. This is Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where hope has a voice, and that voice is yours. And not only is it me, but I've also got Rochelle here. And we had a great conversation with our guest. Would you like to introduce our guest to our audience today?
Yes, I would love to. We had an amazing connection with this woman straight from the start. She is all about divine energy. She has services, teaches about purpose, learning how to manage and connect with the divine energy, which is something I think we all deserve to learn. So, Cate Brandt, thank you so much for being here. How are you today?
I'm doing well, and thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We are excited to talk about this subject. So let me begin by saying Einstein proved that we are energy. Tesla proved that we are energy. There's also a divine energy of the universe, and we are all part of the same large scale, and I mean large, if you know how big the universe is, all the energy system, and we are all part of it, and we're all part of it together. Cate, have I misstated that in any way so far?
No, not at all. No, we are all in it, and we are all one. If you ever heard that, and that's true. The main difference is that we're on planet Earth, and that makes it a little different for us here on this planet, and harder, actually.
Exactly. And if you want to learn more about that, there's a book that I recommend that you get that I read way back in 2001. And Neil Donald Walsh wrote a book called Conversations with God. And in that book, God says, we are all one. And I stopped and I thought to myself, I've never heard that before. I grew up in a Lutheran family and stuff, and I never heard that concept before. But I thought to myself, holy crap, if we're all one, that means that we're all connected. That means that when we are mean to somebody, we're being mean to ourselves. And I thought, if we all could recognize that really simple forward context, it would change the world. Do you agree with that?
And compassion and kindness is the way, really. Even loving your enemy, there's a reason for that, because if we don't love them, and for them to change into love, they will stay where they are. And so if we project this positive, divine, loving energy to them, then their divineness and divinity within themselves will click. And will they change right away? No, but it could take some time, and hopefully not too long.
Kate, I want to ask you this, because I firmly believe if somebody's mean to you, rather than say, they're mean to me, I hate them, if you say, I wonder what they're going through and how that is changing their life, and giving them a little grace and a little kindness to be able to maybe make that change for themselves, whether it's today or in 10 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a lot of mercy, right? A lot of faith that we will notice them in a different light the next time we see them, or their troubles don't reflect how they're seeing us, because since we are all one, we do a lot of reflecting with one another. And instead of putting their trauma onto us, that it's our trauma, and realizing it's their trauma and working through that, and healing through that. A lot of people want to do the journey of healing, and then they start and it gets hard. It's painful. It's not pleasant. A lot of past things will come up. Although if you don't work through your trauma, you're going to stay where you were at, and you can't grow in that energy, and you can't evolve in that energy. But if you do let the divine energy in, and soften everything that's around you, which it does. It does so many different things. It protects, it shows the truth about everything around you and whoever else you're in it with. It will show their truth as well. And we on this planet have to decide if we can handle someone else's trauma, and see if you can deal with it. And if you can't deal with it, it's okay to let that person go until they're ready to, be at your vibration. Because if they're not at a stable vibration with you, and they tend to pull you down into their misery and their own lower vibration, you both are not going to grow and change and evolve. So if you can see that, you can escape that. You can disconnect from it. There's no harm in that. I don't believe that the higher divine beings look down on you when you do say enough is enough. I think we all are self-empowered to do what's needed for our own self and our own energy.
Life is such a journey, and we're not always born the way that we are going to end up. And some of us go through a period of time, Rochelle, that is difficult. And then they get to come out the other side, and they get to learn about things that they hadn't even considered before. And they become a wholly different person, which I use the term holy, not as in WHOLE, but holy, as in a divine piece of the universe. And Rochelle has gone through that in the last 5 or 6 years, haven't you, my dear?
Oh, yes. I mean, what's crazy, Kate, I love to share this because that's where I had the awareness of there could be more. There is the possibility of the healing journey and all those things. And I wasn't ready to embody it. But when I said yes, and I did, I could say it did, in a way, change instantly, but it didn't happen super fast, but it didn't take forever. It's not this, like, now I feel empowered and I'm looking forward to enjoying the journey and the future and everything I'm going to experience and learn. It's exciting for me now, not just like, oh gosh, what's coming next. But it took 2 years. I mean, meeting Kevin and what I had been doing 6 months prior to that, setting myself up, because there's a preparation for it. And you probably are highly aware with that. Did you go through that process as well?
Yeah. So I started in the year 2000 with my healing journey. I was introduced to Reiki, a modality that you channel divine energy. You're using your first 4 chakras to actually, your first top chakras to actually, it comes through, and then it comes out the palms of your hands. And so I had it done to me for like a year and a half, and then realized I'm shifting. I'm becoming more empowered within myself. I'm not letting people say they're going to do something and then they don't come through with it. I'm holding people accountable to what they say, which, sometimes isn't pleasant for others when
Yep.
when they aren't accountable. But then when I got attuned to mastery in 2006, and I'm able to attune people to that modality, it has the journey. Those 6 years were amazing and eye-opening. And I left a relationship, a marriage, and I realized that I was being suppressed and I was letting myself be suppressed. Not It's both, right? You might be suppressed by someone, but then you're letting yourself. So it's a choice of, do I leave and grow and change and feel like my old self again, or do I just go on with life and settle? And I don't settle.
Yeah.
I
Well, I have
did
to
that
ask.
for 20 years and it wasn't pleasant.
Yeah,
So
I could only imagine. So did you have something specifically that happened that sparked you wanting to go on this journey and say, screw it, I'm going to figure it out and find myself? Or did you just wake up one day and you were like, let's try to change?
Well, it kind of happened a little slow because I was working at a hospice at the time when Reiki was introduced to me, and I didn't know really what it was. Very skeptical, very skeptical. And I went to healing circles to start with, and I noticed that my ears would pop, my energy would shift. It was kind of, I'm like, okay, something's happening. But within 4 years, after 4 years of dealing with it and getting attuned to it myself, I just got stronger as a divine. My divinity started really to show, and which gives empowerment and strength and joy and your self-worth back. A lot of that is stripped when you don't have your soul activated, basically, is what divinity is all about. We have a divine body, we have a divine soul. And when that divine energy is flowing, it really activates all of that to start awakening. When they say awakening, it is an awakening. You kind of see the world differently. You see who isn't aligned and who is, and like attracts like. And so when you're in a vibration and you're standing next to someone, and your vibration isn't matching, you get tired or frustrated or, annoyed. And it really starts to show. And so how I decided to not be that way again is just to go out on my own. I was a single parent for a little while, and the father was in the picture, but I was still a single parent. But I just felt like I could do things, and I had support behind me, and it wasn't human support. My mother was a huge support, but I also, which was unconditional love. And a lot of parents these days, love is either conditional or unconditional. And unfortunately, I had an unconditional mother through my whole entire life, which is very unheard of these days, really. So I had her support, but I also went back to faith, and I went back to actually a Lutheran church and started going to church again, but noticing that the people even in the church weren't as connected as I would have liked them to be. That soul wasn't that activated. And but it got me to settle down for an hour and really take in, the music and the faith structure of what a church is supposed to give you, is that
Right.
ultimate feeling of faith. And that's what it did. So yeah, it was a long journey. I mean, I still am healing. I mean, you never stop, I guess.
Always healing. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not only is that okay, that is part of the journey.
Yeah. I mean, it is on this planet, that's for sure. I don't think we have to do this in any other planet situation, but this one. But yeah, on this one, yeah.
Well, we need to take a break, but Cate Brandt is with us. And Cate, I've been told by many, many people and mediums and energy workers and people that this is a very, very hard place to be. And we are considered as spiritual warriors for being able to come here and deal with how difficult it is versus where we come from, how difficult it is because it's very dense here.
Yes.
And it takes a long time to generate change. It's not instantaneous like it is at home. And when I mean home, I mean on the other side.
Yeah.
And when we come back from this break, I'm going to introduce you to my brother. Now, sadly, he's from another mother, but he and his group are in Kenya, and we will be right back. And then we are going to introduce our friend and somebody that we are working with who is having a tremendous impact in his world. We'll be right back. Here's another point to ponder from Positive Talk Radio. What is the easiest thing to justify? It is a small transgression. The one no one will ever see, no one will ever know. The tiny exaggeration on the expense report. The extra minute you took on your lunch break. The packaging you tossed in the wrong recycle bin because it was closer. In those moments, the question isn't, will I get caught? The question is, will I know? It isn't about avoiding punishment. It's a silent agreement you make with yourself when you choose to do the right thing. To return the wallet. To fix the mistake. To respect the empty space. You aren't impressing the world. You're earning your own respect. That small choice, made entirely in private, is how you build a life you never have to look away from. The only audience that matters is you. And welcome back to Positive Talk. My name is Kevin, and Rochelle is right there. And I got to tell you, Cate, we have a group of people that are, well, heck, I don't even know. Rochelle, do you know how far Kenya is from here?
I have not a clue.
It's a long way.
Yes,
and
it is.
And he is in his world going on a journey to help kids, to make sure that kids don't go to bed hungry on a Saturday night, and he feeds 370 children. He used to be on the streets of Nairobi and so he is now building something. And he is, when we say that we are brothers, that I really mean that, because we're all one and we're all working together for the betterment of everybody. Some of us do it by just saying hello at the grocery store with a smile on your face, and some of them feed 370 children. Rochelle, would you like to introduce Samuel?
Hi, Samuel. He says, greetings from Kaiberia Restoring Hope Center. Brother Kevin, my younger sister Rochelle, and guest Madam Cate Brandt. We are watching and listening to you live. This is our favorite program, Positive Talk Show. God bless you, Team Positive Talk, for highlighting our weekly feeding program, No Child Goes to Bed Hungry. Thanks our partner Sparrow's Landing Global Incorporated as well. I'm so glad that they got that. And like I said, Samuel, I'll be there to watch you on live. If you want to do that, everybody, you can go to Kyberia Restoring Hope Center or find Samuel on Facebook. And he actually does the feeding live on there and shows the kids and all the things. So I'd really love to see that grow a little bit and show him some support. His Restoring Hope Center also says, hello, Team Positive Talk Radio, senior brother Kevin, Rochelle, and guest Cate Brandt. We are watching and listening to you live. Great work you're doing of hosting different coaches and inspirational speakers. Thanks to continue with great work you're doing. Congratulations from Kyberia Slums, Nairobi, Kenya. We are tuned in.
And by the way, that's very kind of you to say senior brother rather than that old guy that works with Burchell. So I want to, and it's so it is fun. We're a worldwide organization now, and Cate, it is heartwarming for the things that we are able to do, and we're able to touch people around the globe, and you by right now are being seen live in Kenya. There are 25 people. They're getting ready. It's midnight there or so. They're getting ready to feed 370 children tomorrow. So they watch us and then they go prepare the meal for everybody. It is a extraordinary thing that we are all get to be part of. And now you're part of it too.
That's great. That's great. That's great work. That's awesome. They're doing that.
It is an important piece. And if we all were to look at it from the point of view that he does, he came from nothing. He was determined to not let other kids that were growing up deal with what he had to deal with. So he's making that change, and it's a real positive thing that he's putting together. And I'm of the opinion, you tell me, I think we can all do that to one degree or another. What do you think?
Of course. Of course we can. I mean, even a smile or a hello to anyone that you come across means a lot to people, even though that we don't take it that way, or it's not, you might not think it's received that way, but it is received. Any kind of energy exchange, positive energy exchange, makes people shift. It might shift into sadness, but that's also a way to see why they're sad and decide, okay, what's going to make me feel good today, instead of just being invisible. I've noticed these kids nowadays. I mean, I grew up I'm a Gen Xer, so we were told to go to church, and it did establish a faith system through us. And I'm just hoping that a lot of kids now, and because a lot of people don't go to churches, have some type of hope or stability in faith of you're not alone. You also have your guardian angels. There's archangels. There's just an enormous amount of angels out there that are helping all the time. And I think that's really important for people to know, so that they can reach out and they can just start talking. Everyone's listening on the other side. They're never not listening to us. Call out in the right way if we ask for protection. And the main thing that I always say to my clients is, whatever you start praying, just make sure your prayers include the divine word quite often, so that the divine energy beings actually come in, because on this planet we we have both. We have not so friendly energy that kind of tricks us into thinking that they are on the divine side, and they're not. I think that's where a lot of people get messed up with. The word divine is a word that is listened on both sides. And if you say, I want all the non-divine to leave me now, they will listen, and they will. I have prayers in my book that I wrote, Divine Souls Shift for Divine Earth. And in the back is affirmations that people can read. I have a couple of clients reading them day and night, and they're shifting tremendously. And there's also prayers for protection and removing energies around you that are not serving you. And it's like the divine plan is what we really are trying to get to. And a lot of our divine plan is also helping the earth to become divine. The planet Earth to have divine energy only. And yes, it will take a long, long time, but we have to start somewhere. And this book was channeled. I channeled this through Baba Ji. He was the one that told Yogananda to come to the Western world and teach us how to become one using yoga. That's why we call it yoga. Yogananda started it. And Baba Ji was his predecessor, and he, I channel him quite a bit. And so a lot of this is his words and my words as well.
Awesome.
Very good. And the name of the book again is, and they can pick it up at Amazon and all kinds of places, right?
Yeah, Amazon. Divine Soul Shift for Divine Earth. Yeah.
And I want to mention something that I think is really important. Now, Brichelle has met me one time. She was here for several days, and we got to go around places, and we got to talk. And I hope that you'll verify this and not shoot me down. But what you see here when I do this show, that's who I am. Would you agree with that, Brichelle?
Yeah, 100%. On any God-given day.
On any God-given day. And so when I go to the convenience store, as an example, or I get a smile back because I smile first, I talk to people like they matter. I'm interested in what's going on with them. And so consequently, because of that, they treat me differently than they treat other people because they know that I'm invested in who they are. I learned this when I was a bus driver. And so if you are somebody that doesn't do that, if you don't smile at the checkout person or the bus driver or somebody who's doing a service for you, and if you don't do those things, you are wasting divine energy. And when that is what that's one of the things that we are here to do, is to heal and to take care of each other and to be kind to one another. And if you can do that, you will get paid back in spades. Kate, do you believe that?
Yes. Yes. We're here to serve one another. We're not here to, this money thing is a money thing, but the service to others is where it comes down to. It is, if you're in service of another, somebody will serve you back. What you give out, you get back, sometimes tenfold, sometimes not tenfold, but it does come back. a lot of people go for a long time, maybe not experiencing the kindness coming back to them enough. And I think that's why people get lost in their faith of, well, I'm serving and doing and serving and doing it, and then but why don't I feel that back? But if they go, it's because you're not going to feel it back by a human. Basically, it's your spiritual guides and God. And I use the word God instead of universe. I like Mother and Father God, actually, because there is, in my belief, there's a female and a male, and but it's God's, it's on their time, not on our time. So if you can keep the faith of it will show up, the kindness and the gratitude and everything will come back to you eventually, but it's on their time. And the patience has always been a huge thing with me. I don't have it with humans, and I have a hard time having it, period. But I am told over and over again in either oracle card readings that I do just for myself is things are shifting, things are happening, be patient, let go, let us do, and so it's like, okay, I'll just let that go. And the more that you let the problems and the issues and you surrender it to them and say, here, you can hold all of this trauma, anxiety, depression, whatever, and it doesn't stay in your energy fields. You've surrendered it to something else, and that's a huge, huge lift of your energy, and it clears you off. I mean, there's multiple ways to clear your energy, and that's my specialty is clearing person's aura, helping their chakras, helping their energy fields to become stronger, working correctly, being grounded. If we're not grounded to the planet, we are not helping her at all. We have to be grounded. And a lot of spiritual workers, that's a very hard thing for them, because they rather not be grounded to Mother Earth. They rather be up, kind of not even connected to their body or the planet. But that's a disservice to why we're here. We have to be grounded so that she can feel that divine energy flowing through us and down to her, and then she can bring it back to us. It's a cycle. It's a give and receive.
And by the way, we're talking with Cate Brandt. We need to take our halftime break. We're late. We're very late, but we're going to do it anyway. And when we come back, Brachelle's got a question and a thought. I'm willing to bet. And we'll be right back.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
Are you looking for your daily dose of inspiration? Stay connected to all your favorite shows, music, and news with the Brushwood Media Network app. From Positive Talk Radio to Greatest Vibes Unplugged and so many more uplifting voices around the world, everything you need is right in one place. It's easy to use, too. Always available and designed to keep you inspired 24 hours a day. Go to brushwoodmedianetwork.com and download the app, and you will always have Brushwood Media available on your smartphone. Download it now and make inspiration and music and conversation part of your everyday. And welcome back to Positive Talk. My name is Kevin, and Brachelle, the one, the only, The magnificent divine Burchelle is here. And I know you've got some interesting things that you would like to ask.
Yes, Kate. Well, what you brought up, what I was thinking about that whole time was intention. If we are only giving outside of ourselves because we just want to receive, we're not going to see the things we have that are being received because of our intention behind it. The same thing how you talked about when you surrender and you give it over and you go through this journey. What are your intentions? Because if you're not intentionally aware of why the root is where you're coming from and why you're doing something, then a lot of times we don't see the results we think we would normally see. Did I say that fairly, or is there something you would like to add?
Well, the way that we expect things, we should never have expectations of how things are going to come to us.
Right.
Most of the time, they are gifts, subtle gifts of knowledge or an awareness, or a song. The other side loves to talk through song. It's very, there is intention behind everything, right? You need intention. However, the expectations, you have to be really open and not have any expectation of how your answer is going to be given. And it might be a stranger that you just come across, or a salesperson or something. I've had multiple interactions with complete strangers that I have helped clarify something for them, because Spirit's always channeling through me, and I might ask them how their day was, or maybe a more detailed question, and they're in shock that I would even talk to them. But when Spirit comes through me, sometimes I don't even know what I ask. I mean, it happens so fast. But they're open. They're open to hear it because it catches them, because I've said something that they didn't think anyone was going to ask, and they were probably mulling it over like, wow, no one's asked me how my day was. And then all of a sudden, here comes somebody asking how their day is, and it stops, and they're kind of taken back, but they're grateful that someone cares enough to even ask, right? So
and what you said, the gift, sometimes our gift is being able to be that person. And
Right.
if we are putting expectations upon these things, we're not actually seeing what is coming and being right in front of our face. I know that Kevin himself, he's got endless stories of times where he just was himself, and he was connected and understanding just that simple, how are you, but actually meaning in a way of care and wanting to know if somebody is okay or not and how you can help, can really transform somebody's complete life and allow them to become somebody else they didn't know was possible. Kevin, you know what I'm talking about, right?
No, absolutely. Well, one of the things that I did is I drove a bus for 12 years. And when you drive a city bus, most city bus drivers do not like their job. I don't know if you've noticed if you ever ride the bus, but a lot of bus drivers, they don't say anything. They don't talk to you. They don't have a smile on their face. I made it my mission that everybody that got on my bus, I was going to say hello to. Everyone. And so I did. Okay, I'm human. There were a day or two when I didn't feel like it, or there were a certain person that had a negative energy or whatever. But I tried very hard to do that. And I got to tell you this, Kate, 20%. I did this survey all by myself. 20% responded.
Yeah.
Which meant if I looked at it from a negative perspective, that means 80% didn't respond. And so screw them and the horse they rode in on. Rather than I had the perspective, 20%.
Yeah.
I affected 20% of the people that got on my bus, and the other 80%, they'll figure it out. As a matter of fact, I even had people that would get on my bus and I'd say, "Hey, how you doing?" And they would take 3 steps down the aisle and they'd turn around and say, "What did you say?"
No.
Well,
I
it made
said-
you feel good, didn't it, Kevin?
It was kind of validating because it was like, because I said, "How are you today?" And they go, "Oh," turn around and walked away.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a win. And so it became like a game. And so it was a matter of perspective of how you do that. And I think we can all make that shift, and we can make that perspective if we choose to. But so many times our cortisol, we were talking about that last hour, that gets in the way and causes stress, and we don't do, and all that kind of stuff. So but
yeah, we do. Like we were saying, we are on planet Earth. It's very dense, and our bodies take very hits, huge physical hits because of the food and the energy and the amount of stress that's in the air. And if you don't step back and really get within your own energy and understand your own energy, you kind of lose yourself because you either given too much and you don't feel strong anymore because you just feel very depleted. I loved going to the ocean on the West Coast, and years ago, not so much now, but years ago, I would go over to San Diego. I'm only 6 hours away, and get to the ocean to refill the ions. I live in the desert, so I needed the ions, and you just get a whole new perspective when you feel balanced again. And the problem is that everything's really expensive. Everyone's working their butt off trying to, make it and do everything that they have to do. That a lot of people don't just take some time just for themselves to really understand, okay, how does my body and my energy feel? Am I tense? Am I, there's a whole regiment that you can, go through and realize that you're not okay. And then sometimes you're really not okay, and you go to the doctor because you're like, I'm not doing okay. The problem is that a lot of things are energetic problems, not if your spiritual, emotional, and your mental body is messed up, it goes physical. And so, of course, once you feel it physical, then you go to the doctor because you're like, hey, I'm hurting, I'm in pain. The problem is that they don't look at your energetic field. They're like, oh, you have a bad knee, let's do surgery. I mean, they'll go to, the surgery spot, right away. But I was just thinking about this story today. This guy came in with a bad back, really painful bad back, and he could never get the pain away. And when he walked in, I could tell right away that his deceased mother was with him. And he started talking, and I said, what's the problem? And he's like, my back really hurts. And I said, well, your mother's here. Does that kind of correlate with your bad back? And he's like, it does, because it did start after she passed. She just never crossed over. She never went to heaven. She stayed. So when you do have a spirit with you, your energy field is trying to match that energy field, and a pain occurs a lot of times. And once I crossed her over, his pain went away. He was a happy camper. And he was amazed that no one else figured that out, that it was energetic. So we are so much, we're equal energetically as we are in matter. So, and probably even more so energetically than we are in matter. So if you don't get an energetic checkup, you should. It's amazing what I find on people, and why they have reoccurring pains and a lot of different things. I mean, I could go on forever about that, but I do want to say that I designed a sticker that flows divine energy continuously, and it never goes. The flow continues to go all the time. It never stops. And what I've realized is that we are not, we are water, but we're H3O2 water. We're structured water. We're not H2O. And this sticker that is flowing divine energy. You can use it as a coaster and actually structure your water and drink H3O2. What we're lacking is oxygen, and you get another hydrogen as well. There's like things nowadays that you can energize your water with hydrogen. It's kind of scary because a lot of people are getting then too much hydrogen. The sticker is divine energy, so it's intelligent and it gives you what you need. And whatever your body doesn't need, it will expel. And
Hey, hold that up so people can see it.
Yeah.
So it's, where am I?
There you go. There you go. And so that is a conduit for energy. Would basically be correct.
Yes. Yeah.
And after we take this break, let's talk about it a little bit more, and your website. If you're wondering where to find these stickers and you can't see them yourself, it's divineenergymanagement.com. She has everything there. So let's take our last break, and then we'll deep dive a little more into how you can get the sticker, how you can find Cate, and how you can work with her.
Here's another point to ponder by Positive Talk Radio. A sailor in a storm once battled waves so fierce they nearly sank his ship. He discovered storms, they don't last forever, but strong sailors do. Life will shake you, test you, and even try to break you. But if you hold steady and keep moving forward, the skies will clear, and when they do, you will see how powerful you have become. You are listening to Positive Talk Radio, where stories of hope come alive. And welcome back to Positive Talk. Michelle is here, and Michelle is a magnificent person. I love that smile, by the way. And would you introduce our guest again and how they can reach her completely?
Yes, we have Cate Brandt, and the last name is spelled B-R-A-N-D-T. Don't forget that detail. And if you want to go to her website, get information on all of what we've talked about, it is divineenergymanagement.com. And Cate, is there other things you have going on, other ways people can reach you, and your book and all those fun things as well?
Everything's really on the website. They can get my books. My links are the links there in the website. For Amazon, they can find me at Amazon. If they go Cate Brandt, and there's 3 books, just cross them over. Divine Energy, Understanding Divine Energy, and then the Divine Soul Shift for Divine Earth. And then I'm on LinkedIn. under Cate Brandt. And yeah, all I have to do is fill out the form, contact form to get the stickers. I don't have them like you push a button and you buy your stickers. You do have to get a hold of me through the contact form. And I do have a Google page as well. If you go to, I guess, the maps, that's how I find my, and you put in Divine Energy Management, and I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and it comes up with my website, some reviews, some questions, answers, and then there is a phone number, my Google phone, that forwards to my other phone. So you can get me there too. The stickers are 5 for $40, which I think is very reasonable. They never stop working, and I'm always available after purchase to talk, to explain. I never. I'm always open to my clients all the time. So.
And I want to share with everybody, Kate actually did send me some stickers. I'll show you if I can. I'm just kidding. I can't find them. But I put one under my pillow. I put one in my favorite water bottle. You can put them by a swimming pool, all sorts of things that I had no idea of. Put them in your car. Very protective energy. But Kate, when I received these stickers, you told me, please let me know when you receive them so I can activate them. Do you want to kind of tell me how that process works and why you do that?
So the stickers are activated before you get them. So the activation is through getting a hold of our soul parents, which are different divine beings that a lot of people don't know about, but I do blog about them if you want to read my blog about them. And the earth parents, and those 4 divine beings, energy flowing through is basically all we need. That it gives a grounding aspect to them as well. When I hand them over to healers, when I'm networking, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, they're activated. They can feel the energy flowing. So,
well, and when you send them to somebody, is there something as the customer that we need to be doing after we get them? Or
no,
we just
you just have to use them, and then you. I don't know. Does your water taste a little different now that you? I
think it's hard because I can get in my head and make myself believe anything.
Yeah.
So if I'm being honest with you, Kate, I had no expectations. I laid it all out. I surrendered completely.
Yeah.
I've had them, as you know, for a week now, and kind of just keeping my eyes, my heart, my soul open to possibilities and what is to come. Kevin hears about everything through my day-to-day life, every decision I make. And, there's ways that I can see where it's helped that I was not expecting certain shifts and certain changes. But it's just that alone, being aware of the sticker helps me focus on being connected to divine energy, being aware of how I'm feeling, having those pauses throughout the day to check in. How am I doing? How do I feel? What have I been thinking about? Where are my levels? Do I need to eat? Do I need water? Should I stop drinking coffee? I'm really bad at that one. Yeah. And Kevin too, he's got his things and his routine and his way of checking in and having those moments, because it's more than just, throwing your hands up in the air, surrender. Okay, well, I'm just going to continue on with my cycle. You have to break the cycle. Yeah. You have to mess up that pattern that the universe is used to you being involved in, and it forces things around you to change, to create a new pattern. And if you're not aware of it, you can just kind of go back into old patterns and old ways and old things and Kevin has seen majorly, even with me, they're talking with amazing people like you every day, where that pattern structure has blown itself up into pieces because I have put myself in the middle of that and had that awareness. So just those little things, having the sticker and the awareness, I think is enough to help somebody throughout the day, throughout their week, all those kind of things. So that's powerful in itself, I'd have to say. Don't you think, Kevin? I'll send you a sticker, by the way.
Well, and Kate, I got to tell you, because we're going to run out of time, and there's a couple of things that I wanted to touch on and talk in depth about, and so you're going to have to come back. I wanted to talk about channeling, and I also wanted to talk about soul parents, because that gives us the impression that they birthed our soul, and is that a thing, or
they're in the void?
because we're eternal beings ourselves, we've always been,
Yeah.
and we're all, and so that was the other one, and also the one I wanted to talk about, which I think is relevant to the earth, is why do people stay here rather than after they pass on? Why do they stay rather than go to the light and go to the divine? Because everybody is met by people here after they pass away. So my assumption then is they say, nope, I ain't going. I'm not done here, or something along those lines. But we need to talk about that. And we're not going to have time to give you a real in-depth. So I'm just curious about, I'm curious about all of those things, because life after death is an important aspect of our life.
Yes.
And what we get to do when we're over there, and what we get to face, and the consequences of our actions, and how that all plays out, because it's a very interesting conversation. Not that there's judgment, there isn't, but there are results of the actions that we take here based upon what we do and stuff. At least that's my opinion. But I want to ask you yours, so you're gonna have to come back. I'm sorry.
No, no problem.
It's just, there are people in our audience that are saying, "Yeah, Kate, you got to come back. No question about it."
Brand new conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot, right? There's a lot to know, a lot to share, and yeah, and I give half-hour free consulting as well. I mean, when someone really needs help and they don't know where to go and they don't know what to spend their money on, a half hour with me usually ends up more than a client, because I usually nail what's wrong with them pretty quickly. So
that's awesome.
So, Kate, run through your information again on how somebody can get a hold of you, and about the everything that you do, and all of that, and your books, and Brichelle, the name of the website again is?
Yes, the name of the website is divineenergymanagement.com, spelled exactly how it sounds.
Yeah, no spaces.
Yes, no spaces, no dashes, no periods, no nothing. Just 3 words.
All together.
So, Kate, before you go, I want you to tell us how everybody can get a hold of you, but also I would love for you to tell our audience whatever you feel called to tell them before we leave. We've got about 3 minutes. No pressure.
No pressure. So you can get a hold of me on my website, divineenergymanagement.com. My books are on Amazon. I am a Reiki Master, psychic, medium. I do a lot. I do card readings. All my services are on my my page, and on my website, on my services page, and it's I usually vet out your problems and then figure out what you need, and then we get it resolved. So what I should say, keep the faith is what I'm getting from above. Everyone really needs to keep the faith that the divine beings are that are on the other side are watching out for us, are always with us, and all you have to do is ask, believe that they're there, and celebrate that it's already done. I call that my ABCs: ask, believe, and celebrate. If you don't ask, you don't receive, and it's a universe of receiving and giving, and there's a cycle. And so if you always receive, that's not great. If you always give, that's not great either. There's a balance. There's a divine balance with everything, and divine time. Don't forget
Amen.
that.
And it's okay to give yourself the space and the time to learn how to do that, whichever way best serves you. I think so many people think, oh my God, I got to figure it out right now. I being one of those. So just be patient with yourself. And remember, the one thing that has gotten me through this whole week of life that I've experienced, it's okay. Whatever it is, however it is, wherever and whenever it is, it's okay. Right, Kevin?
And the most remarkable things will happen when you just let it be and let it unfold. And unfold it will, and know that your guides have got your back. But what you do have to do, and Cate, I know that we got to go, we're over time, but what you do, what would serve you best, is to acknowledge their presence and thank them for their help, and you will find remarkable things enter your life.
Correct. Good last point.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Brachelle's got business to do this weekend. Thank you for being part of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where stories inspire and voices remind us of what truly matters. May today's conversation give you hope, courage, and a reason to keep moving forward. And just remember, till next time, be kind to one another, because each other's all we've got.